Greetings, everyone. How are you this fine, fabulous day? I am Warren, Mr. Bowtie Feaster, your marriage foundation specialist, and I focus on the foundation of marriage. My goal, my desire, my aim is that people would love being together. It's all about longevity with me and not longevity. My goal is to couples that desire to be together, that want to be together, that they would love the time that they are together. So I work on the foundation of marriage. This is my filling in the cracks series that I occasionally do. And this is designed to fill in those cracks that those of us that have been married a while, to provide some type of insight to fill in those cracks as we've been married a while. And sometimes we forget certain things or we neglect certain things. And then also those that desire to be married, to allow them to find those cracks in the foundation that they're building and so that we can solidify the foundation of marriage. Today, I want to talk to you very briefly about something that happened to me today. I was walking through the halls and a gentleman pulled me to the side and was like, "How are things going with your business, with the marriage and helping people with their marriages?" And I listened to the question, and I'm not going to tell you um, the conversation or anything, but I kind of just want to talk about that inquiry, what stood out. Like it really stood out to me. What's going on, Eric? It really stood out to me that he inquired about marriage. So the question becomes, well, one of the questions becomes, is the inquiry of marriage just at the beginning of marriage? Or is there an inquiry in perspective throughout the relationship? And you could take either stands with that. You can take either stands with that. But it just stood out to me, and I'm gonna tell you why, and then I'll go into those two different perspectives. It stood out to me that he asked a question about marriage for one, well, two reasons. One, because he associated me with marriage, but the other reason is because he said he'll be celebrating his 50th anniversary coming up this year in July. And here he is, 50 years married, and he's inquiring about how marriages are doing. You know, the people that you talk, my bow tie is kind of off a little bit, y'all. Y'all bear with me. I've been playing with her. But he's been inquiring about, for him to be married 50 years and him inquiring about marriage, to me says a lot. And I began to think that, is inquiring about marriage just at the beginning of marriage, or is it throughout the marriage? So the beginning of marriage, of course, the inquiry is important. This is how you and your spouse or your soon to be spouse get to know each other and get to understand the different perspectives of what you two bring to the table. One of the things I'll say about marriage is two separate systems that come together to create one system. Okay. Two separate systems. You and your spouse were raised two totally different ways in two totally different families, and sometimes in two totally different geographical locations. And so you come together with your individual system, your individual way of how a family should go. And then your two of you come together to make another system. And these systems, although they come together, they remain separate. And that's the tricky part about marriage. But honestly, to me, that's the best part about marriage. I posted the other day, I was like, a lot of people think that the perfect marriage is when you come together and everything is perfect from day one. When in fact, the perfect marriage is the marriage that you two build together. That's the beauty of it. So the inquiry in marriage at the beginning is great because this is when you can sit down and utilize this time to get to know the different perspectives of each one of you as you come into marriage. This inquiry could involve children, finances, career, geographical location, medical, like the list honestly goes on and on. But it's a good place to be at the beginning of marriage when you inquire about marriage. Well, what about those that have been married a while? Like me and my wife, we're coming up on 27 years. Is the inquiry important after you've been married and you've been married for a while? Is it? If I had more people on right now, or even as you watch the replay, put your comment in. Do you think marriage, the inquiry of marriage, is important later on in marriage? Well, let me give you my perspective. I think it is. I think it's very important because there's so many different reasons, but my favorite reason is because marriages evolve. The marriage evolves. You get older, your spouse get older, new career, new jobs, new children, like new circumstances, medical. So the marriage continues to evolve throughout the duration of the marriage. And so the inquiry of marriage for those of us that have been married a while is a great thing because you are saying we need to look at how do we keep going? What is it about this marriage that keeps us going? What is it about this marriage that's holding us back? How can we improve? There's three levels to this thing about marriage. One level is premarital counseling, where you get into marriage. And as you're going into marriage, you look into what it takes to build a marriage and stuff like that. Then there's the reconstruction or the repair. And these are the people that have been married and they're at a certain point in their relationship where they need somebody to come in and assist. And then there's the people that attend or read certain things to enhance their marriage. Now, we all go through all three phases, but I want to say this before I go further. We should always be in a state about inquiring how our marriage is. So it doesn't matter which one of those states you're in, as long as you seek help. Those that have been married for a long time, those who have been married for a short time, and everything is going good, you should at least once, twice a year attend some type of class or retreat to learn more about each other. Because after you've been married a while, we have a tendency to neglect our spouse, or we have a tendency to forget some of those things and we take things for granted. So it's very important. So the inquiry of marriage is very important. It's very beneficial and it's great because we want to ensure that we are building this thing that we call marriage, that we are striving to go further and striving to do more. The inquiry of marriage should never end. Well, Mr. Bowtie Feaster, if you want to reach out to me, here's my website, www.warrenmrbowtiefeaster.com. Feel free to email me and ask me any questions or even about this. If you do email me, please put filling in the cracks so that I'll know that you listen in and then we can go from there. Or if you would like to text me and for additional information, you can text me at 931 320-9809. It's right there on the screen. I'm fumbling, right? If you do text me, again, put FITC for filling in the cracks and let me know that you listening in and this is what your inquiry is about. I do thank you for listening. I do thank you for your time. And I always like to end with my 3 points of interest. 1, the center of everything is family. 2, be the best you that you can be. And 3, it's called life. Live it. Have a great day.